Hello everybody, Retro here, and today we're going to be talking about my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch. So you guys can be expecting some videos like this on my thoughts on certain topics, on gaming or anything I want to talk about, on my thoughts. So yeah, you guys can be expecting these, not a lot, but here and there, just to cover some slots while I'm working on top 10s or other kinds of stuffs and things I have on the works. But let's stop stalling here and just go on to my thoughts on the presentation. So the presentation was overall good in my opinion. It wasn't bad, it was well done. It was actually pretty great in my opinion. It got me hyped in some points. They announced some really good games on it. But we'll get to the games soon because I do have some negativity to talk about there. But let's just start with how Nintendo just presented the Nintendo Switch, the console. They presented the console and, like, if it were just a console, but they didn't get the point across where, they didn't say, hey, you can actually take this outside too. They just, said it basically said it was a console, you play indoors, but they didn't really get the point across. I feel like they expected us to know already, but I feel like if they keep on pushing that concept, I think it will drive more people to realize and notice it more, and maybe that will get it to, to sales to just go up, even though it's not even out yet. But yeah, I think that's one of the problems with the presentation, where they didn't say anything on that topic, and I feel like they should have made more things and talk about the fact you can take it outside. But they were focusing a lot on the controllers for some reason in the presentation. In the presentation, they were talking a lot about the fact that it has like HD rumble and how small the controllers are and how you can just put them in this and have like your thing, pro controllers, blah blah blah. But like I feel like that was okay of a point to go across, just because, cool, it's a controller, alright. Do we need to know more about the console itself or the controllers? Because they mentioned that, a console, it's its controllers, and the console, controllers, if you don't like them, why, you're not going to like the console or the games on it. But, yeah, I feel like they should have, stop talking about that a little less and start talking a lot more about battery, because they did mention the battery, but I would like to talk about the power, the software that they used, and what Tegra chip they actually used, because they didn't mention anything on their part. But yeah, I guess the controllers were alright, because a lot of people were wondering, crap, these are small and I have big hands. I was wondering that too myself, because I have big hands. But yeah, I feel like they should have been talking about the software more instead of the console itself. But as we were looking, it's just like, it's probably powerful than the Wii U, just because we were looking at the Zelda Breath of the Wild thing. But overall, like, my opinion, the controllers, they are small, but I feel like in the end I will get used to them, and I might not even be using the Joy-Cons a lot. I don't think I'll even take it outside as much, because like, how am I gonna be carrying this? But I know there's accessories for it and stuff. But I didn't really need to know a lot about the HD rumble Nintendo and how it sounds like water or something and ice falling into glass. Alright, so I'm gonna start talking about the games. This is where we're gonna skyrocket and just fucking talking on my thoughts in here. My biggest complaint is that there are barely any launch titles they announced. There was probably like two Switch and Breath of the Wild. And that's a really bad move on Nintendo if that's the only few games. I know there's more games that's going to release on the Switch. I think it's like Binding of Isaac, something about Heroes, I'm not sure. But they really do need more launch titles, because that's one of the biggest mistakes Nintendo did in the Wii U part aside. The launch titles, they had like 20. They didn't have much, but they were also not very good. Like, we got Zombie U and what else, like, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think they did very well on that part. I mean, they announced pretty cool games like ARMS. ARMS looks really, really good in my opinion. It looks really freaking good. But, you know, that's a game that's coming out in spring. Most likely even maybe delayed, but I doubt that. But it's coming out in spring, like a whole month later, maybe in April, which is not very good to not launch the title with. And then there's games like Super Mario Odyssey, which looks fantastic, but it's not releasing with the Switch aside, you know, with the Switch, and, you know, it's kind of not good on Nintendo's part because they need a strong launch title. And Mario Kart 8's not even being a launch title either. It's just gonna be a April release too. So the 2017 lineup, it looks pretty strong so far, but we need more games for it because, you know, it's not really looking great, Nintendo. I mean, Mario Kart 8, if it released with Breath of the Wild, that would actually be good. I wouldn't be complaining if Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart were like the two games Nintendo is taking out, and then there was like 5 or 7 other games, because I know most people are going to be like, wow, Mario Kart and a Zelda game are releasing once the console comes out in March 3, and that's going to be really, really good, because then it's just going to drive console sales, because Mario Kart's a really popular game, and it's going to be one of those games that most people take out when they go outside, Mario Kart. And I don't really know what Nintendo's plans are with launch titles. Maybe they have more in store and just keeping it in, but like they really need to get that, you know, working. And I mean, the battery too, the whole battery, 2.5 to 6 hours for certain games, it's kind of, you know, but it comes with a charger, an on-the-go charger. I think it's USB based, which is good, because that means the charger's not only the dock itself, which is really good. And I also heard that the Joy-Cons have to get charged too, which sucks majorly, because I'm not sure if they charge along with the little tablet thing when you're charging it, and when you're on the go, or it can only be charged when it's, you know, hooked on to the dock. I'm not sure about that, and that's gonna be really, really weird, like when one of the Joy-Cons don't work and you're trying to use it. So I'm not sure. And also, I don't know if they get powered with the tablet or by the tablet when they're hooked onto it, or they only use their battery life when you take them out, but I'm not sure. Nintendo's presentation, you know, didn't really specify a lot on that, and it's just things we need to know about. But overall, I've been talking negatively on the presentation, even though I did mention it was pretty good and great in the beginning. It was great. It was good because of the announcements and the games they announced. I kind of like that they did talk about the controller, because a lot of people were worrying about it, but they just needed to talk a lot more on the console itself and the, you know, on the specs and stuff on it. But now let's get on to the real part and topic of this whole magical thing, and is it going to bomb or is it going to succeed? And right now, in my opinion, I don't know. If the Nintendo Switch was released in December, November, I think I would be pretty sure it was going to succeed. But it releasing in March 3rd is a really, really huge risk on Nintendo's part. And that's because of the launch titles. You know, if Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild released once the Switch came out, and Mario Kart 8 would be out as well, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Splatoon 2 would already be out too, no doubt about it, it would have succeeded. But I'm not sure if it's right on Nintendo's part on making people wait a whole goddamn year just to get the games like ARMS, Splatoon 2 to come out. I'm not sure. It's really, really hard to tell, but I feel like if it does succeed starting in March 3rd, that's just because the whole concept and the part on like taking it on the go is already a cool concept and people are interested in that. But if it does sell, it's not going to sell day one for sure. I think it's like sale, you know, when it rises on sale, it's going to be on December, just because that's when the games are going to be strong on the Switch. And that's what Nintendo needs, just games. That's all they need. and that's why I'm really looking forward to Nintendo's E3 this year, because I know that's gonna be pretty strong for them because they have a bunch of games to announce. Let's just hope like the whole launch up titles are gonna be good, because I know most of the games are gonna be released that they showed off in the presentation are gonna be released in 2017. But if they released the console in 2017 and holiday, that would have been really good, like I'm saying, because all those games in the presentation they showed off, none of them said they were gonna launch at 2018. You know, they're gonna be all released before 2017 ends, which in holiday would have been amazing for Nintendo, but I'm not sure why they decided to wait or release it in March 3rd. I'm not sure what they're trying to get there, but you know, Breath of the Wild will probably make people buy a Switch on March 3rd, but I really hope Nintendo, you have a lot of content on this game, because I'm not sure if people want to buy Bomberman R and the Binding of Isaac and Heroes game, or 1-2 Switch even. So like I said, my actual thoughts on if it's gonna fail or succeed is right in the middle. But you bet that I'm gonna get this day one. I'm actually gonna go pre-order it today, I think. But Nintendo, be careful, because the games you have on the list are pretty goddamn cool, but they are not launch titles, which is gonna hurt you a lot. So yeah, I'd probably give the presentation a letter grade of a B plus maybe, or a B, just a B. But overall, the presentation was good. The games were good. You know, everything they talked about was pretty good too, but they just needed to add a little more detail on what they were talking about. So, you know, thank you guys for watching this video. I probably talked a lot about my final thoughts on this whole thing before I even talked about the presentation a lot. So, yeah. You guys can expect a lot more of these My Thought videos. Not a lot, but maybe 3 times a month, 4 times a month, I'm not sure. But the next one we'll be talking about video game obsessions, my thoughts on obsessions on video games or other things, because I got a huge topic on that one. Yeah, let's just hope the Nintendo Switch will succeed. And if you made it this far into the video, comment down what you think. Or are you gonna get the Switch day one, or you're gonna wait till those games like Splatoon 2 and like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe come out? Comment that below if you're gonna get it or not. So thank you guys for watching me ranting and rambling about the presentation and the Switch itself. Thank you guys for watching. Click like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys, and take care.